Okay then, so I was right, exactly as predicted. So if you want to get the background of this video, watch the previous two videos, A Message from Friends of Mill Road Bridge and Why We Fight, because that leads directly into this. In the last video I said, having lost the battle for the congestion charge, Cam Cycle and Mill Road for People and those activists are going to redouble all their efforts and focus entirely on Mill Road Bridge again. They're going to re-campaign to close that bridge. And this is exactly what's happened now. So this has appeared on Nextdoor, this poster. 72% want Mill Road for people, not cars. So this video is to go through each of these points. They've got 8 core goals, and I'm going to point out and I'm going to prove to you that these are lies. Okay, so this is exactly what I said in my last video. Their campaign is based on lies. So we're just going to go through this one by one. Okay, first lie. Lie number 1. 72% want a Mill Road for people, right? That's not true. 72% of the respondents to the consultation approved the closure of the bridge. The number of people who responded to the consultation was just shy of 2,000 people. 72% of that is around 1,300 people. They were all living in the Romsey area, they were members of Mill Road for People, and they were members of Cam Cycle. They have taken that 72% and they are misusing it, misrepresenting the data to try to pretend that most people are in favour. Okay, they're not. The number of people who have approved the closure of the bridge is around 1,300 to 1,400 people. That's it. So that's not 72%, that's around 0.9%. Okay? That's one. Lie number 1. Lie number 2, here it says their aim is to create a low traffic, low pollution street. Now this is something which is so important, because the air quality argument has been used again and again and again. But this was one of the things which Friends of Mill Road for People managed to establish beyond doubt that was not true, and I'll show you why. Exhibit number 1 is the statement of reasons which the council published for the TRO. In the statement of reasons they give 3 reasons: for avoiding danger to persons or other traffic using the road or any road, or blah blah blah; for facilitating the passage on the road of other road or any class of traffic; for preserving or improving the amenities of the road, of the area which the road runs through. Those are the 3 stated reasons. None of those include cleaning up the air. If we look over at the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984, from which all of these 3 frankly nonsensical reasons have been plucked verbatim, you will see 9 legitimate reasons why, 7 legitimate reasons which are in the legislation, which are the only reasons which will make a TRO lawful. And one of those, G of section 1, is for any of the purposes specified in paragraphs A to C of section 1 of section 87 of the Environment Act, in brackets air quality. So improving air quality is a legitimate reason for installing a TRO. However, it is not one of the stated reasons for this TRO. When the Friends of Mill Road Bridge were challenging the council's solicitor in the early parts of the pre-action protocol stage, one of our earlier grounds was the air quality argument is a lie, and we can show it in these ways. And the response back was, and I'll quote to you, hold on. This is the solicitor for the council responding to our claim that the air quality argument is not true. Their response is, the County Council has set out matters relating to air pollutant concentrations within their report to the Highways and Transport Committee. Air quality reduction is not a reason for implementing the TRO. In their very next sentence, as stated in the response at paragraph 11, air quality reduction does not form a reason for the proposed TRO. Does not form. Air quality is not one of the reasons for the TRO. Whoever tells you that closing the bridge is going to clean up the air is lying. Further to that, I would like to say, I also have another snippet from the internet here, and this comes from the Romsey Labour group, who are, by all markers and indicators, probably the ones behind this campaign. On their one of their social media pages in September, they stated, here we are. If this actually comes about, we hope more people will walk and cycle and take advantage of the fresher air. So they're still pushing this air argument, even though it has been actually conceded by the solicitors. Now, more people need to stick on that point. Closing the bridge will not clean up the air, and that's not even one of the stated reasons for the TRO. So this is a lie. Create a low traffic, low pollution street. All right. So that's the first of their 8 core principles. Is actually a lie. Right next to this other big brandished lie here, 72%. Make Mill Road accessible for all. Well, clearly that's not true. That's not going to happen, as I've already pointed out with the letter which I read you from Ruth Green and so many others who haven't written out or spoken out. They're going to be trapped in their houses in the off streets of Mill Road because they're not going to be able to get picked up by their carers or their friends, and they're not going to be able to travel around and things because they haven't got the energy for it. So they're actually closing Mill Road down for the weakest and elderly and disabled. Encourage active travel. Well, this is the big one, isn't it? Encourage active travel. Active travel is part of this huge government program to, in quotes, increase walking and cycling, or increase the uptake of walking and cycling. Okay, so that is active travel. That's a government program, and I'll read you something here about that. Where is it? So this is according to a study by the National Audit Office that despite an estimated £3.3 billion being spent on delivering such measures between 2016 and 21, cycling and walking rates fell over that period. Officials for the Department of Transport did not require town halls to monitor the schemes worth less than £2 million, meaning that it is not even known if many have provided value for money. The study said between 2016 and 21, Department for Transport spent £2.3 billion in funding local authorities to build new active travel infrastructure. The Department for Transport does not know the totality of what local authorities have achieved through this funding, and has identified that infrastructure it has funded may not have been good enough quality. This resulted in some poor value schemes. It also said some active travel schemes were removed prematurely before they could be tested properly because they proved controversial. It is unlikely that the Department for Transport's objectives for increased active travel by 2025 will be achieved. The Department for Transport estimates that the government spent £3.3 billion on active travel between 2016 and 21. Of this, around £2.3 billion was handed to town halls to build schemes which include LTNs, low traffic neighbourhoods. It is expected that ministers will spend another £3.3 billion until 2025. Howard Cox, the founder of the campaign group Fair Fuel UK, said, "It is staggering how much money has and continues to be squandered by clueless politicians on active travel fantasy projects." Okay? Active travel is a big pot of money which is being distributed around the country in order to build active travel schemes, but they have limited or no effect and waste lots of money. And they say that they want to encourage active travel. Well, I mean, it's a dubious claim at the very least. Support a wide range of independent businesses. Now, how are you going to support a wide range of independent businesses when those businesses depend on the road and have grown up with the road? I'm not going to go too far into that one because it's too nebulous, but you can just see on the surface of it straight away, like, enhance our sense of community. Now, this one is very obviously broad and ambiguous. What does that mean? But also, how have you enhanced the sense of community with this godforsaken campaign to cut the street in half and divide Romsey from Petersfield? How has that helped anybody? Look at all the acrimony and the controversy and the battling which has gone on because of this. How have you enhanced any sense of community other than to create two sides of warring clans? Provide reliable, affordable public transport. That has not been shown or demonstrated in any way, and that's actually one of the main sticking points. Provide an attractive environment. Okay, well, again, it's a matter of opinion, but look at the plans that they've put forward. Look what they plan to do to Mill Road Bridge. They're going to plaster it up with cycling symbols. They're going to put this big red tarmac, build these traffic islands in the middle of the road. That's not attractive, is it? And if you're going to turn the Petersfield side of it, or the Romsey side of it, the other side of the Mill Road Bridge, into a ghost town because cars can't get up and down there and businesses are going to close, then how attractive is that going to be? Once again, it's a matter of opinion. But anyway, the main point of this video is obviously to call out these lies, to continue to call out the lies, because I feel it's more important now than ever. This group, Mill Road for People, which is, by the way, just a sort of shadow organisation for CamCycle, blatantly so, they hijacked the consultation in 2022. Before that, there was another consultation which the council deemed so flawed they had to scrap it and do another one. And before that, there were 3 petitions to reopen the bridge, which got nearly 5,000 signatures. So to claim that you are representing the majority opinion is just outright wrong. But the main point here is that I predicted this exactly as soon as I heard that the congestion charge thing was being shelved, let's say. The CamCycle activists are going to now increase all of their efforts. They're going to go full-blown back into campaign mode. Mill Road for People has now been reactivated, and these pamphlets and flyers are being spread up and down the street again. My criticism of them in my previous video was that they lie, and that their activism is based on warped statistics and untruths, and that is proven here in this pamphlet and flyer here. And to be honest with you, it's irrelevant anyway, because it's now down to the judge to decide, because we've managed to get the judicial review thing submitted and accepted. So it isn't a debate between Mill Road for People and Friends of Mill Road Bridge. It's actually down to the judge to decide to what extent this doctoring and manipulation of process is going to mean that the council falls foul of the law, and to what extent our judicial review is actually going to be able to bring some justice to the equation, because that's what we're dealing with now. And it looks like, as I was predicting, I was correct. We're now going to engage in a battle, a war of words between these lies and then me and others trying to point out that this is not true. And they're not going to engage in a genuine public debate. They don't want to sit in front of me and field questions. They don't want to answer for themselves. They're going to do all of this stuff surreptitiously and behind the safety of a next door alias as they spread all of this. Anyway, this is the sort of thing that you can look forward to now, because it is getting to crunch time. The judicial review is supposed to be happening at some point. It's pending. In the meantime, their horrible roadworks and assault on Mill Road Bridge cannot continue, and that is costing them a lot of money, and that's what this is all about. Oh yeah, my last point, which I didn't point out here. In their 8 core goals of the Mill Road for People, does it say anywhere to attract or gain funds? No, it doesn't, but that is one of the core reasons and motivations for closing the bridge. So again, disingenuous. Tell us the truth. Why don't you just be open and honest about what you're doing? You want to close the bridge because you want to make some money, and you don't care about people. So there.